Welcome to episode 26 of the Commodity Podcast. I'm your host, Gunter, aka the only host that goes away for months. Yes, it is I. Now, a lot has transpired since our last episode. I sold a bunch of cars, Rockstar got hacked, made a lot of money, Rockstar got hacked. I also spent a lot of money, specifically on Amani Tech. Why, you may ask? Well, we'll dive into that a little bit later. But first, let's start with the Rockstar hack. And we could call it what it is. It seems like free PR for Rockstar, plain and simple. Company gets hacked, then there's some ransom requests. Rockstar ignores, information get leaked. And here we are talking about Rockstar or GTA 6 for another month or two. The one thing that did catch my attention was that Rockstar generates 1.3 million in daily revenues from GTA Online, according to GTA Boom. You want to guess how much of that 1.3 million is from Shark Card purchases? Quoting from GTA Boom, Shark Card account for 74% of that total. By total, the article is referring to the 1.3 million in daily revenues earned by the company. Quote, with GTA Plus subscriptions covering the rest, and Shark Card sales only have crossed 5 billion since they were introduced in 2014. People, that amount of Shark Card spending is wild. And I do think that there's better ways for us to make money in the game without having to spend on Shark Cards. Now, since the release of the Mansion DLC, I've spent more than 20 million, and all of this is documented. My account went from 50 to 30 million in one day. But leading up to the release of the Mansion DLC, I made sure to earn enough so that when I made these purchases, I would still have enough remaining. And since then, I've created a strict time limit for playing the game. I play 3 times a week for an hour and a half. And each day I play, I try to earn 1 million and I try not to die. And these guidelines not only create a more like intense gameplay, but also it makes it a little bit more fun for me as a solo player. So it's simple. Get online, make as much money as you can within a certain time frame, and then log off. Now, earning money is a habit in GTA Online. And to earn, you need to have a business. So, since I've been playing the game for a very long time, I do own a lot of businesses, specifically the bunker, the nightclub, salvage yard, agency, and the most recent, which is the car wash. These are the most profitable for me, and that is the most important part of making money in GTA Online. I like businesses that can earn money quickly and generate a daily income. And that's why I invested in the nightclub, the agency, salvage yard, and the car wash. Meanwhile, my other MC and CEO properties are only producing goods for the nightclub. Using those 4 businesses with my MC and CEO properties, I can earn about 1.5 to 4 million per week easily. So before I get into what I've been up to for the past 2 months, I do want to discuss maybe like how to make money. I'll go over my method and maybe this can help you guys out to make money and not have to like purchase Shark Cards, especially if you already own a bunker, a nightclub, or an agency. Usually, I'll start in the mansion, shower, quick fit check, and then check the bunker to see if the sales is ready. Normally, I'll drive to the bunker location just because it's close to my mansion location. Since I only have about an hour and some change, I'll normally fly. And once I get to the bunker, I'll start a mission, hoping that it's one of those one package drop situation. You know which one I'm talking about. After, I'll head to the agency and I'll collect the safe earning. And this is a reoccurring thing. Most of the businesses that I enter, if they do have a safe, I'll collect it no matter how much money is in the safe. I always collect. Next, I head to my salvage yard and again collect the safe, but also I'll check the board for vehicles with the highest payout, and I'll usually start at the prep mission for that payout. And depending on the week, I'll collect the 2 vehicle with the highest payout, wait the following week, collect the next 2 vehicle with the highest payout, and then after I'll sell all 4 vehicle with high payouts. There was one time where I made 1.2 million in about 10 minutes doing it this way, just due to where my salvage yard is located and where the docks is. The only downside is that you do have to wait a week to sell all 4 vehicles. And this goes back to what I was saying. The most important part of making money in GTA is to do what you like. I like the salvage yard business. And at this point, I basically can speed run all the vehicle robbery missions after doing them so many times. Plus, if you're really good, you can earn an extra 150,000 in bonuses from these vehicle robbery missions. As I mentioned before, my salvage yard is located near the docks, and this is a good tip, especially if you don't own a salvage yard yet. I would recommend purchasing the salvage yard location in Marietta Heights, because trust me, your export missions will be super quick. Next, I'll drive to the car wash business, collect the safe earnings, and start a car wash. Normally, as soon as I log into GTA Online, if the bunker sales is not ready, then I'll do this instead. I'll leave the mansion and do a car wash request from my phone. This helps reduce the heat on the car wash business so that during the cooldown times, I can do about 4 to 5 money laundering missions without having to worry about the heat level. So quick car wash mission, and when that's complete, then I'll head over to my small warehouse property, pay the staff to source the cargo, then head to my medium warehouse located in Del Perro and do the same. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if sourcing cargo this way is profitable, but this beats the old way of having to spend money and sourcing cargo yourself and possibly someone stealing it. Once that's complete, I'll head over to my arcade, register as an MC, and then resupply my MC businesses. I do this for 2 reasons. The first is so that the nightclub tech can source goods, and the nightclub tech will only source good if the business is active, meaning you have to sell some of the products and you have to resupply the business. Which brings me to reason number 2, which is street sales. Street sales have been my go-to for selling my MC products now, and I do think you guys should implement street sales when you do see it pop up on your map. I don't register as an MC anymore. I don't worry about someone destroying my product or the business being raided, especially after the security update with the mansion. But once I'm done resupplying, I'll check the bunker once again. If the sale is ready to go, then I'll sell and pretty much repeat this process. In between cooldowns, I'll do agency contracts, not the Dre contract, but the security contracts. And you can call Franklin and request a random contract. But from my experience, I do think it's better to go in the office because you can kind of pick the highest payout. I'll also do street sales and the free roam vehicle exports just to switch things up a bit. For example, when it's double money week on payphone hits like this week, I'll focus more on payphone hits during the cooldown instead of the vehicle export or towing. And just to do a little recap, here's how much I earned within 3 days of one particular week of playing GTA for less than 2 hours. On average, I made 600,000 passively from the nightclub safe, 250 from the salvage safe, and 180 from the agency safe, and 200,000 from the car wash safe. I also earned 1.3 million from nightclub sales, 1.2 million from salvage yard exports, and 300,000 from security contracts and about 300,000 from money laundering. I could earn more from the car wash business, but I mainly use this business as passive income and during the cooldown phase. But the last time there was 3 times bonus on the car wash business, I made 3.6 million in 3 days just doing that. So in total, on a non-bonus week, I made a little over 4 million. And before my mansion DLC, I did hit my milestone of $50 million. And after, my account dropped below 35 million. And now it's up past 70 million. So this is the method that I use to help to get me to that amount. I'll also admit that I did sell a few cars over the past few months, which helped me out a little bit. And aside from earning money, I think selling vehicles you don't use is also a good way to earn back some cash. So here's the vehicles that I sold, and bear with me, there's quite a list here. Back in March, I sold the Buffalo STX, which is primarily based on the Dodge Charger Hellcat. The STX is one of the best Imani Tech vehicles in my opinion. Plus, it has one of the best bulletproof windows. But I sold it for 1.3 million. 3 days later, I sold the Dinka Jester RR for 1.2 million, the Dinka Conjo for 200,000, and the Drift Walton for 11,000, which I must admit was a low payout, but for the purpose of limiting my collection, I sold the Walton anyways. A week or two later, I sold a Vapid Dominator. This is one of the best sounding Vapid vehicles, but if I'm being honest, it's hella slow compared to the other vehicles in the muscle class. So for the Vapid Dominator, I received 75,000. Next was my Baller STD. I sold that for 1.1 million, and the Cypher Poverty Spec build, which I got 800,000. The last 3 cars I sold back in April. The first was the Fister Astro, another vehicle purchased for the test drive series, and now it's time to sell this. I sold the Astro for 900,000, and I also sold the Panther for 900,000. The last vehicle I sold was the Cavalcade XL, another vehicle purchased for the test drive series. Overall, it's a decent vehicle, and for a truck, it has decent acceleration and good handling. When I sold the Cavalcade XL, I got $1 million back, and in total, I made around 8.1 million within the past 2 weeks just from selling cars from the collection that I don't use. At the current moment, I have about 70 million. This is nothing compared to other players, but based on the Rockstar leaks, people seem willing to spend real money just to catch up. I'm hoping this method can help you guys out. You really don't need to be spending on shark cards when making money is so easy in GTA Online, especially if you're a solo player or if you're a new player. And while I must admit, I have been playing the game for a long time, so yes, I do own a lot of businesses in the game. Therefore, it is easy for me to say things like this, but it's actually easy to make money now in GTA than it was before. There are weeks when players can claim a business for free. Shit, even the payouts have increased over the years. So personally, I feel like there's no reason to be spending money on shark cards, even as a new player. And I'll give you an example. I like music, specifically hip hop, and I love cars. If I started playing GTA in 2026, I think the first business I would try to get would be the agency. Not only is the agency a good business to start with, but the main focus of the agency DLC was centered around music. Plus you get $1 million for completing Dre's contract. The only downside is you have to purchase an agency. So it's going to take some money, which all these businesses is going to take some sort of investment capital to get in, but you have affordable options. The cheapest agency is located in Little Seoul. It's going to cost you a little over 2 million, and that's without any renovations. On the flip side, you get access to Dr. Dre's contract. That's an easy $1 million within 40 minutes. That's half your money back right there. Plus you get to complete the mission solo. You also have access to security contracts, also easy money, and definitely worth grinding during a double money or a triple money payout. And you have Payphone Hits, which is definitely worth grinding during double money or triple money like this week. And last, you have access to a safe, and that generates income daily for you. To be honest, I'm mentioning this just so you guys can spread the word. At the end of the day, it's just a game, and there's no reason to be spending real dollars for virtual dollars. It just don't make no sense. So yeah, I hope this method of making money help you guys out. Keep in mind, you can make even more. Giving myself a timer was like a personal thing for me, so there is possibility to make even more than 4 million within a week. Before I wrap up this episode, I do want to shout out a recent subscriber and a recent player I met who is overall a cool person, super, super dope person. We met randomly. He came to the mansion. We worked out for a little bit. He checked out the car collection at the mansion and then the Eclipse Boulevard property collection. We then drove to his house. We checked out his collection, and I gotta say, I like meeting players like this. You can tell when someone knows what kind of car the in-game car is based on. Most of his cars are based off real-life cars, but with his own personal touch. Shout outs to him. He also subscribes, so shout outs to you. And hopefully I see you guys in GTA, and you guys are willing to show me your garage. I'll definitely check it out and record. And I mean, I won't, give feedback per se. I feel like everybody have their own tastes, and who am I to judge? But yeah, I don't mind checking out people's garage. So if you do see me, say what's up. Let me know, and I'll check out your garage. Also, real quick, I started fitting some of my recent vehicles with Amani Tech. Although adding missile jammers cost me around $400,000 per car, I love the feeling of driving past a lower level player, specifically the lower level players, with an oppressor, knowing that they can't lock on to me. And if they want to pick a fight, it's going to take some real skills. So I'll leave it there. The last thing I will say is what's interesting about these particular players that I'm discussing is how are you level 16 and you can purchase a oppressor so quickly. I'm gonna mind my business. Hopefully when they see me, they mind their business. And as usual, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, comment below. Check out my recent review on the Albany Cavalcade XL. As always, you can get in touch with me on Instagram at Gunter, or you can email me at inquire.gb@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening this week, and I'll see you in the next episode.